Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all okay. So this morning I thought I'd go through features of a newspaper with you, because part of your task for this week is to either write a newspaper report or a diary entry or a song or a poem about VE Day. And I really like writing newspapers. I think it's a really, really good opportunity for you to improve your writing, to really get those complex sentences in, to use amazing adjectives and wow words, get lots and lots of features in. So before we start, there are a couple of things that you need to do first. You need to have read the Twinkle resource on VE Day. You need to know about that. You also need a thesaurus to help you up level your writing, to choose better words, and maybe you could have watched a few videos. There's a Horrible Histories video on VE Day. There's a song, I think it's only a few minutes long, so maybe you could read that. John Paul's been reading. He's had a quick look at that, although this doesn't really talk about VE Day that much, but it's still, I mean, he loves these books. And we've also got this eyewitness book on World War II, which is fantastic. And there's a big 2-page spread on VE Day with a few extra facts in there. Really important that you have as many facts as you can before you start writing your newspaper. So go and get those, pause the video and go get those and then come back. Okay, so on Twinkle as well. Twinkle's fantastic, and I think it's free at the moment, and they have a checklist of things that you need to include in your newspaper article. So the first thing you need is the name of your newspaper. Now we've gone a bit simple on ours actually. We're going to just call ours the Daily Record, and that's going to be our name of our newspaper here. I've just drawn this out to show you. Yours doesn't have to be this big at all. I'm just doing it so it's really clear, but you can by all means make it this big. Do what you like with it. So this is going to be the name of our newspaper, and then we need the date here, and the date will be May the 8th, I think it was Tuesday, May the 8th, 1945. Then this is going to be our headline, and this box here is going to be, and under the headline you need a sort of, it's called like a byline, like a very short sentence. Then you need your opening paragraph here. You need a box for your photograph. And then I've just put 3 boxes for 3 paragraphs. One box for 3 different parts of my story. Okay? So my headline, we've decided, is just going to be VE Day, it's all over. Now, a lot of headlines, especially in the sort of the tabloid newspapers, they would go for quite a funny headline, like maybe a pun or alliteration. And alliteration, remember, is where the sounds are the same at the start of each word. And you could certainly think of something like that. We're trying to keep it quite simple here because, you know, we want to really focus on this writing, but by all means, go for it. Try and get those really, really good attention-grabbing headlines, and then a short little caption, and then, so we've gone for VE Day, it's all over. John Paul's going to do this afterwards. And then my short sentence underneath, Germany surrenders, maybe Britain victorious or Allies victorious, something like that. Now, in my opening paragraph, you've got to have the 5 whys. The who, the what, the where, the when, the why. Try and remember that. The who, the what, the where, the when, the why. And that just opens up your story. Very short, maybe 1 or 2 sentences. And then the rest of your story, your main body of your text, will explain those 5 whys. Will tell you the what, the where, the when, the where, the where, the where. Okay? So, I made a PowerPoint yesterday, which I can't actually show you on the screen unless I do Zoom. So you'll just have to listen to what I've written. Now, this is quite high level writing. You don't have to be writing the same words as I've chosen, but I'm just showing you how you can use the words that you've learned from that Twinkle resource, because there are a lot in that third one. There were a lot of really unfamiliar words and tricky words, so I've tried to use those in my own newspaper report. Now bear with me, my eyes are probably going to dart all over the screen while I write, so it will look a bit strange. You can't see what I can see, but I'm reading what I made yesterday. So I'll just remind you, the name of my newspaper is The Daily Record. My headline is VE Day, it's all over. And then underneath, Germany officially surrenders, Churchill orders a public holiday. Okay. What I will do is I'll send this to your mums or dads, and so that you've got this as well, you can see this. So, I didn't actually do my orientation. Anyway, I forgot. I don't know why I forgot. I was probably tired. Anyway, so my first paragraph is this. Yesterday, on the 7th of May, 1945, at 2:41 a.m, Germany officially surrendered the war. 4 ambassadors from the 4 allies, brackets, Britain, France, the US and USSR, end brackets, witnessed the event, which took place in a schoolhouse in Reims, northern France. Today has been declared a national holiday, VE Day, brackets again, victory in Europe, end brackets. There's a lot of information in there. That answers a lot of the 5 whys, doesn't it? When? Well, it was the 7th of May. At 1945, at 2:41 a.m. That's in the middle of the night when everybody else was sleeping. This really historic event was taking place, and these 4 extremely important people were there to witness the signing, the declaration of Germany saying, we surrender. Hitler had died the day before that, and Germany decided, we surrender, that's enough now, it's over. Extra points for you if you can include in that paragraph who the 4 ambassadors from the 4 allies were. We know that Winston Churchill was one. Who was the president of America at the time? Who was the president of the USSR? And who was there to represent France? You can find out. My next paragraph. Our Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, delivered his address to the nation at 3 p.m. from London. Now, I know specifically where he delivered that address from. It wasn't 10 Downing Street. It was from a different place in London where thousands of people could come together. Okay, if you've ever been to 10 Downing Street, you know it's a little road that sort of goes off Whitehall. You would never fit that many people down there. So Churchill deliberately chose a place where, I mean, if you look at the pictures online, thousands and thousands of people were there to watch. So, during his emotional speech, he reminded us that despite our suffering during this conflict, we won the war with strength and endurance. As he spoke, thousands of people in the crowds below cheered. So you can really up-level that bit of writing. Instead of emotional speech, get your thesaurus. What else can you use? Rousing speech. I can't think of any words now because I'm so tired. But you could be looking at your thesaurus and thinking of different words. On that Twinkle resource that you've hopefully read, it talks about suffering, the conflict, the strength, the endurance. Churchill also used these words in his speech to really show the crowd that he understood what it meant to them, that after 6 years of war, we finally had peace. So that's my sort of that's my second paragraph. Okay, paragraph 3. For all those at home, impromptu parties, you might remember that word from the Twinkle, impromptu. What does it mean? Impromptu parties were set up in the street. Tables and chairs were lined up along the cobbles. Pianos were dragged from the parlour. Children made hats and banners while women made cakes, sandwiches and treats for the hundreds of happy mouths. The celebrations went on into the small hours across the nation. So again, instead of saying tables and chairs were lined up along the streets, I've already used the word street, so I don't want to repeat. Don't repeat stinky feet. Remember, when you're checking your work and you're editing it, don't repeat stinky feet. If you're using the same words, change it. Use a different phrase. I've put pianos were dragged from the parlour. Now the parlour was the front room. It was like the posh room in the house where the family would congregate, would be together in the evening. They'd maybe listen to the wireless, and there would be a piano. There'd probably be a piano in almost every house. So rather than pianos were put in the street, that's really boring. I've said pianos were dragged from the parlour, giving you a little bit more information and using those descriptive words, those wow words. Children made hats and banners, while women made cakes, sandwiches and treats. Now again, you could go into a bit more detail there. What were people wearing? What were the men doing? Probably just eating. What else was going on? What were the grannies doing? What were the babies doing? Put a lot of information in there. Paint the picture of what was going on. So again, sandwiches and treats for the hundreds of happy mouths rather than the hundreds of people. Again, so boring. Use a different phrase. The celebrations went on into the small hours across the nation. That means, well into the night. Oh, it was a big party. And then my last bit of writing, only a few sentences, is a sort of more of a reflection on what's happened of the day. So tomorrow may have a different mood, but for today and for the rest of British history, we will celebrate this monumental Victory in Europe Day. And that's why we're celebrating it this Friday, because it's the anniversary, the 75th anniversary. Some of you, your nannies and granddads, might just be old enough to remember my stepdad is 80, so he remembers a little bit of the war. Or maybe if you're lucky enough to have great grannies and granddads, they might be able to tell you a little bit. They might have a memory of this. So talk to them, give them a little ring on FaceTime and ask them a few questions about it. Okay, so I hope that has helped. Don't forget to use your checklist of what to include. Again, it's on Twinkle if you've got that already. Or if you are stuck at all, ask Mum or Dad to drop me a message and I can help you. So, good luck. And if any of you want to do that and then enter in the competition, do it. Fantastic. All right. Take care. Have a really good day. Bye.